I'm here today to dispel all the myths that you have about what you think is really what the spiritual stuff is. It's not what you think it is. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. So let me just tell you that I really believe that we should all, in this room, start looking at the nature of the electromagnetic field that's going on above your head right now. You probably don't know this. The planets are affecting you as you sit here. Right here, right now. Yeah. All the planets are having this pulsation. You know, if we could just be a little bit in the altered state, you would know that there's like pulsations going on. Boom, boom. Right now. In fact, you know why that thing broke this? I'm sure of this. I have this theory. This thing broke earlier today because the electromagnetic field in this room is so intense. Those lights and all those crystals, I heard somebody saying that this morning. The lights and the crystals and the energy are so big in here, it's just so wild. I'm not kidding. Why else would it break? I know, you think I'm a little weird, don't you? Because of these little paddles in my toes? I do these kind of things just to make sure that everybody's awake because I get bored. I'm like sort of like the Gemini thing, you know, like I'm here too, but a little bit. I'm in the future. I'm ahead of my time. I'm not from this planet the way it is that everybody's here. I have this fantasy that we could sort of be in a more advanced state. Right now, we should be able to talk without the microphone. If we were really in the advanced mental, spiritual state, we wouldn't even need this thing. We could just right now vibe each other out. I have this great idea. It's an experiment. I'm very into science. I've been so fascinated by the nature of reality. I thought to myself, you know, time and space is not what you think it is. It's really not. Relativity, that thing relativity, is really going on here right now. If I could just get to it, I could figure out how to get there. So I did this little experiment. I'm going to do it and I want you to follow me. I wanted to change reality. I wanted to do it quick, so I did this. I know, nobody tried it? No, it's just me. It's okay, but I do notice that the way I am, it's not like everybody else. I mean, it's just the way it is. And that's why I've given myself permission to dress like this. Because I figured out when I was young, when I was just little, that when I got older, I should just like balance things out by letting myself be myself when I got older. So I'm a free person, I'm a free spirit. Anarchy is my specialty. That's why I wore those socks. You wondered, didn't you? I don't really believe in following rules. I believe in chaos theory. Like, things break, that's great. Because it just simply means that nothing is the way it seems to be anyways. And Aquarius is very advanced. They are people who think ahead of their time. They're designers, they're futurists. Aquarians are very bright. They're brilliant. They are so smart and so dumb at the very same time. Honest to God. They are brilliant and dumb. It's a funny thing to say. You know what it is? Genius and insanity? The small little line. So I'm into tattoos, but I don't have any yet. So I imagine tattoos, because that's the kind of way my mind thinks. It's ahead of itself. So I got the tattoos, I'm designing them, and I'll put them on my body later. Why should you go through the pain now? You know what I mean? It's a kind of an Aquarian idea. So just think of the tattoo, and then I tell everybody, and they think you can imagine it. It's like using the mind for higher reasons. I'm a little weird, yeah. And I can't connect with people real easy. Yeah, and people find me hard to get along with, but they fascinate me, or I fascinate them, I think. Which is it? And it's hard for me to even go in the mainstream. As soon as someone starts telling me something, I start to disagree with them. As soon as they ask me what I want, I always say no. Do you want to do this? I go no. I just can't help it. I say no to everything. So it's hard to get along with me because I'm so contrary. Well, it's just something about being contrary makes me feel like I'm being real. Because if I say yes and people start, I hate following. Why should you follow along with things that are, just because people don't tell you to do it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But you feel a little weird afterwards because you never really fit in. It's hard to make friends. It's really hard to make friends because you feel that other people aren't quite like you. But you know they want to be your friend. They like you because you're interesting. I mean, you think I'm interesting? But then, if you did think I was interesting, you want to be friends with me, and I don't really feel like you're interesting. Aquarius doesn't really care if you like them. So that's why they're a little bit, they can just read people's minds. It's so boring, isn't it? People are so predictable. They're so predictable because they're all like the same, like nah, 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 nah. Aquarians never walk in the same line. They just do a little, and not on purpose. Well, maybe it is on purpose. It's hard to say. It's just sort of a natural uniqueness. But I like people. I mean, I really am fascinated by a lot of them as a general rule, but the individuals, they're sort of boring. Hard to get in a relationship when you're me. But when I do find a friend, oh, it feels so good. But that's why I wear these socks, because it keeps me aware that I'm not really normal. I could be an actress, don't you think?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Lucille Ball, she was an Aquarian. She was publicly nuts, and we loved it. Because she was so weird, we found it funny. I'm not really weird, though. If you get to know me, I'm a great friend. Astrology, by the way, is ruled by Aquarians. Do you believe this? You know what else? I'll tell you I'll tell you a little secret here. You can prepare for your next life by ordering your chart now. Yeah, what you ought to do is study astrology and then prepare what you like, which ones you like, and put the order in early. I'm telling you, it works every time. Got the best chart this life. Check it out.
Promise?
I'm not promising nothing because I know better. I'm very honest. I'll tell you this right now, Aquarians, They tell the truth. So I've learned to go into science. It's the best way I could do it. I went to go research things. I went to study, and I study. And the more I study, the more I figured out that, you know what? Everybody is a little bit twisted, but me, I say it out loud. But it's a lovely trait. I think it's quite lovely. Excuse me, I hiccuped and I blew my nose at the same time.